Alright guys, so welcome back to Neo's Workshop. I'm gonna go over my Team Wars games, and I also had a friendly fight with one of my fellow members. I wanted to go over real quick. He agreed to have me review it for today's episode, so let's get right into it. Here's game number 1. And all my games were fairly easy. And especially for my alt account, I was able to win 3 games on it, but got 1 disconnect again. But it was mainly a matter of at least in the alt account, just people weren't like playing the cards well, because this is an odd deck in my opinion. It's nowhere near close to the meta, and unless you play some like me, I play on my alt account. I play a lot of superhero cards. I'm very familiar with them, so that helped. So, but anyways, started this game trying to play a little slow, trying to build my push behind the Timmy, and just trying to wait to see what he plays. And obviously, looking at his levels, I was pretty sure I had this game easy. This is one of the tactics I mentioned during the week when we're picking cards. Make sure you use the tweak and then fast pass to hit everybody in the center of it. And also be very mindful that obviously the range on the fast pass is like double the range that he needs to activate. So most of the time, if there's a unit in front of the new kid, he's always gonna hit the new kid for sure. And that's 202 damage you get. That he's gonna hit everybody in the way, and that's like every 6 seconds. So it's like a super fast charge. So finally had the chance to put out Randy, and then I like to do this a lot, where I play the plant if I have the right scenario. Where like this, I just defend it against this small little push. I put that plant on my side because sometimes if this push fails, I have that plant as a defense to maybe counter anything that comes my way. So, and then here another reason why I picked, even though it's a lower level, I brought it up in the in our Discord. Check it out if you guys aren't in it. This Randy is only like not even 5 damage less than a max level 5 none Randy. So that added with his effect, his charge is like incredibly more useful than none Randy's, like 300% way more useful than none Randy's. So he was a really good choice. But anyways, easy win, and let's move on to the next one. Alright, so on to the second game. I was actually surprised. This week I got to play decently high elos, as opposed to like the past like month. Almost every game I play, everybody's like 3,000-4,000 elo lower than me. So I was trying to play all these games, take them pretty seriously, just because the elos are respectable. So playing it slow, making sure I just play slow units and units that build their charges, so I can have them whenever I need them. Like here, I use the charge just to make sure that the Timmy doesn't get hit. And here I figured the Timmy was going to be a problem, so I wanted to make sure I play something to threaten him. And with my charges all coming up, the Kyle with the shield, and then Randy with the plant, anything he played I was gonna be able to counter. So, and then the stand, it's just the cherry on top. He's not gonna be able to defend against that. So here he obviously overextended. I mean, he should have conceded that bar. He didn't need to play those hamsters. And then here I just timed it right, so my Randy would take that bar uncontested. Then I thought about trying to push for the 3rd bar, finish this quickly. But I had a large energy advantage, so I figured, let me just let those units die. I'll defend and then just come back and finish the game with another push. That's exactly what I do. I make sure I defend against his fast pass, make sure that he doesn't hit my new kid with his ability. And then I use this tactic also in this weekend a lot. I think there was a discussion about Imp earlier this week because he was in the pool. But this is why he wouldn't have worked. There's too many ranged units. So that's why I didn't want to use him in this pool. But anyways, the tactic was to use the, as you guys saw here, use the Zen Cardman and then just spawn ranged units behind him. And then my alt account actually helped out a lot to do that. I think one of the games, or two of them, I won primarily because I was able to mount an offense with that. So keep that also in mind, guys. Anyways, like I said, I waited because I knew I had an energy advantage and just built up another offense and just check the final bar. Okay, so just be patient. That's what I always say. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so on to the last one. This was probably the easiest one game that I had, but I still took it pretty serious because in my second account, a lot of times I face people anywhere between 6,500 to 7,500 elo, and they have card levels that I have on my main account. So I'm kind of traumatized. But anyways, so I still took it pretty serious, doing some body blocking action here, making sure I load that charge before I get to face anybody. So trying to get a head start on this guy. And again, he picked non-Randy. I knew I already had the advantage. With the charges already charged up, it was going to be an easy confrontation. And then he lined up all his units, so I hit them all with my fast pass. Again, 202 damage, like every 6 seconds. I mean, the superhero genre is just extremely powerful because of things like that. So then I just finish off this little defense he tried to put up, and that's it. He already quit. I think he quit already, right? Yeah, he already gave up. So again, guys, just play it patient, like I always say. Build that energy advantage and build your push. Either use the Zen Cardman to have some ranged units behind them to back them up. Line up people with Tweak and then let Fast Pass do most of the work. And use that the Mary Jane Randy to its fullest potential. So, and you'll be having some pretty easy games. Okay. So now let's go on to the next games. Alright, guys, so moving on to my alt account. This is my first game, and as soon as I saw that elo, I'm like, oh shit, let's put on those try-hard pants on. Let's get this W. So I noticed him. I mean, he was already starting with cards at levels that I was like, oh shit, like I'm already done for. But let's try it. I sent out Stan, let him die. I mean, he's not gonna do much. But then I got my tank, so let's do some body blocking action and start trying to mount a little defense here. So again, this was the first game that I tried playing this strat of putting the ranged units behind all my tanks, and it actually worked out. So I actually do it twice in this game, and it might seem like common sense in a way to do that. But I've gotten used to one of my main decks that I use on my main account has Bradley, King Elf Bradley, whatever his name is, and so I'm used to doing it with that deck. With anything else, I don't usually do it as much, so I just kind of had to like remember to always do that. But anyways, I was able to defend there, and then I noticed he has 3 cards that are underleveled. So I had to take advantage of that, including this one. This Timmy, he has it completely underleveled. I mean, the fast pass, one charge completely shits on him. So then we take the first bar. I only have 12 points. Now, one quick advice I can give is whenever you're in this position, like similar to what I am right now, where I'm at Let me pause this for a second. Where I'm at 1,000 elo in a disadvantage. So this guy is gonna have much better levels than I do. So like right now he has, I mean, one common, that's a 6, but some rares that are level 6. So he's gonna have some strong cards. If you're in this situation where one of your bars is really low, keep that in mind and try to use that as to your advantage. And I'll explain now. I did it kind of by mistake, but I've done this purposely before too. So I was hoping to go for the second bar, but it didn't happen. Anyways, so I also knew that my cardman was coming up pretty soon, and it was actually the very next card that I got. Trying to take out that Wendy before she heals anything too much. Like that. After that buff that those Wendy's got, her heal is pretty damn strong, especially in TVT. So now I just try to keep the fast pass from being able to use his charge again. There you go. So, like I was saying earlier, I was trying to keep him from taking that bar, but then I said that might actually work for me right after I play that Ike. So, and it did. And then he lines up all his underleveled cards for my fast pass, you'll see here in a second, and shits on him. So, then after that, I knew I was pretty well set up for to take that the second bar, and win the game. So I just put pressure through the middle of the field, and then fast pass comes in clutch with his charge. So anyways, guys, keep those things in mind. Again, do not underestimate that fast pass. Alright, so let's go on to the next game. Alright, guys, so game number 2. So now this guy was 6,500 elo. I figured, well, should be a decent match, but shouldn't be over leveled or anything like that. So, or at least that's what I was hoping for. I've gotten my surprises before of people ranked 6,500 with level 22 new kids and level 4 legendaries. So that's happened to me a few times already. Anyways, not wasting my charge on the little guy. The non-randy spawns, making sure that non-randy takes that hit, and then just trying to keep him away from the cardman while I activate his ability at the same time. Make sure I keep him from hitting anybody else but the Zen cardman that way. So yeah, I successfully push off that attack, and then again underleveled Timmy, underleveled hamsters, and I take advantage of that. They just don't really pose much of a threat. Timmy is such a powerful unit from the superhero genre. I think Timmy, Fast Pass, and probably Craig are like my 3 favorites from that genre. They're just so strong. They can do a whole lot of damage on their own between abilities and just their sheer damage. So yeah, again, use the Zen just to block. Get rid of that Wendy before she can heal anything. And here this almost worked, because I didn't think that his Tupperware was locked to my Zen yet, so that almost backfired a little bit. Anyways, just because the stand was low leveled for me in a situation in the situation that I'm in for TVT, we did level him up, but since mine is not that high, I just used him as a spell card that needs to charge. Most of the time, I know I couldn't count on him to be a good fighter, so I just use him as a spell. If you're in a similar situation, I highly suggest you do that, because his slowing down effect is also really, really useful. And then if you notice here, not only is Jimmy's range really far, like extends really far, but the width of his effect is also pretty wide. Let me show you here. If you notice here, the circle, the yellow circle for her ability, it's just barely, like maybe like a pixel or two away from his bar, from that, whatever that's called, and he still hits her, which obviously at level 4 he totally shits on her. But so just to again re-emphasize just how strong he can be, because he can hit so much. And then here he just barely misses hitting the new kid. If I would have hit that, I would have taken the 3rd bar, even after the clock ran out, because here I hit it. So anyways, easy game. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so final match. I go into this pretty confident, even though I'm facing another 8100 elo. I'm like, well, just try to still go for that 3rd win, even though I got to disconnect right before this game, so I lost some points, but whatever. Let's still do a personal win here. But anyways, again, like I said in the last match, use the stand, even though if he's weak, if you have him under leveled, use him as efficiently as possible. So right there, despite him being only a base level 4, look at all the damage he did. So he slowed down on 2 units, which allowed me to get out of this situation alive. He killed 1 more, and then he allowed for this to happen, where the new kid zapped on the last hamster without taking any damage. So he's still a really good spell. He just wasn't a very useful fighter, unfortunately. But and then again, an 8100 elo with underlevel cards, he just wasn't gonna be able to do much if I played it right. So I'll take this bar easy. And again, to re-emphasize how strong Craig can actually be, he made it all the way from when I first spawned him to defend back here, and he made it all the way across and took a bar. So again, he's extremely strong. That's why we always push him to level 7, because that card is just stupid strong. Then again, I was pretty sure that this was probably this guy's first game of the day, because I don't think he was playing his cards well at all, on top of the fact that they were underleveled. So being already my 7th game of the day, I knew how to play this deck way better than he did, so I was able to beat him. And then bam, 3 wins on my alt account. Doesn't happen every week, but it's pretty sweet when it does. So anyways, guys, again, don't underestimate the cards. Superhero genre is pretty damn strong, and just play it like I always say every week. Be patient, try to build that energy advantage, and push. Use the Zen Cardment to block attacks, to block pushes, build those ranged units behind them, and just, you know, use your spells like Stan as efficiently as possible. Don't underestimate any of those spells, because, I mean, not any of those charges, because they're all extremely strong, okay? So, thanks for watching. I'm actually going to play the friendly match that I played against, I think it was Goldfish. Yeah, GoldFishKiller, so our fellow member from the team. Other than that, just appreciate you guys watching. Any comments and feedback is always appreciated. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Alright, guys, so friendly fight with fellow Goldfish Killer here. Now, I'll give him a lot of credit, because I could tell that this deck caught him by surprise. But he was able to bounce right back, because I was almost able to beat him, but his levels overpowered me at the end. But anyways, I was trying to take this as serious as possible, so I could give him a good warm-up, despite the lower levels in my on my alt account. So, man, that level 5 kite is fucking turd. I hate that guy. But anyways, this is one of the things I wanted to point out in this match. I always try to make sure that Shelly can get locked to a target and try to spawn something either next to her or behind her, so that way her charge won't hit the unit that you're trying to kill her with. It doesn't work all the time, but every once in a while you can get it like I just did there, and you're able to defend against her without, you know, any units suffering her from her ability. So again, Craig coming in clutch. Also here from a distance, he takes out that Tupperware without taking any damage. That always helps. And then here I probably shouldn't have done the next thing I do, which is play the hamsters. More than likely, if I wouldn't have played these hamsters, the rest of the game would have probably gone different. Just because I overextended there. So I'm already in a disadvantage of card levels. Then being in a disadvantage of energy is like I did that mistake. So the Shelly and the Timmy could have gotten the bar without the hamsters. So that was completely unnecessary. And then I paid the price for it. I mean, again, the levels were highly in his favor. Like this, the fast pass being level 5. That extra little bit of damage and health that he gets is definitely helps. Something I just wasn't able to come back from that. And then he takes the 3 bars. But yeah, I think he adapted pretty quickly. He never overextended, so definitely a good player. And again, he played his advantage well. It just cards, the card levels. But he wasn't like the I think the first 8100 that I played on my alt account, where he was trying to rely on it so much that he overextended because of that, and he just got cocky because of the levels, and then he ended up losing. But anyways, Goldfish, you adapted pretty quickly, and I think halfway into the game you caught on what you had to do, and then you bastard, you beat me. But anyways, good game, brother, and hopefully this helps the rest of you guys. I know GoldFishKiller, after this game, he was able to do a perfect run, 114 points I think it was. So congrats, good stuff. And yeah, guys, again, like I said earlier, thanks for watching, and any comments or any questions, any feedback is always appreciated, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks.